Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be looking at bombers. Now I'll be honest with you, I don't really play bombers and I haven't got a museum for them either.
What is that? What is that?
So I roped in the help of someone that does know what they're doing when it comes to bombers, and they're probably considered one of, if not the best attackers in the game. And just to put this into perspective for you, out of the top 4 alliances in the game, they make attacks in 3 of those alliances on a daily basis. Now they very kindly shared with me some of their attacks and talked through with me their approach, broken down their strategy, and I'm going to share that with you now. Before I do me a solid and give the video a like, I really appreciate it. So here is the defensive museum of the base on this first attack. These are numbers to make most attackers cry and weep themselves to sleep at night. We are talking a total of 470 total stats score, which is ridiculous. Now we can't of course see the council for this base, even though it was a feature we were promised ages ago. But y'all already know that with a museum like this, the council is also going to be completely gold.
I love gold!
And well, yeah, this base is from a top 5 team, and these guys don't mess around. So now we know what we're dealing with, let's have a look at the troop lineup for using bombers. Now bombers have always been strong, but it's since the release of detachments that they've just become completely ridiculous. We can see that we've got commandos being used here, and it's the use of detachments that has completely changed the way in which commandos can impact the game. We can also see the use of tactical helicopters, and if you didn't know, tactical helicopters allow troops to be deployed within their radius, and we'll see that soon in action. We've also got some ranged siege and mortars for troops and for alliance troops here, and we'll see those being used later on as well. If we have a look at troop tactics, you might notice that we've got 5 total capacity here. Normally you get 4, however there is a building called a fortified stronghold, which you can pay cash money for, which increases that by 1. We can also see here that the air troop space is 10, usually 8, but again there is a building called a Nighthawk hangar, which you can pay cash money for, which will increase that by 2, giving a total of 10. I will say that both those buildings I've mentioned are only temporary as well. I'll also say that this is of course an attack being made at the top levels of the game, against quite literally some of the best defensive museums that there are. So if you're looking to try out bombers, please don't feel like you're going to need these extra buildings for all these extra things, because at the lower sort of levels of the game you can easily get away without needing them. Depending on whether or not you're going to be attacking 3 defensive coalition defenders or just offensive bases, you may or may not need to be using the recons and the top-aloft tactics that we see being used here. For tactics, you're going to need sabotages and assault rallies. Yes, that's right, no demolitions here. It's worth me saying before we get into the battle then, that this detachment setup has been set up specifically to attack the base that we're going to be seeing. How the detachments are set up and how the commandos, tactical helicopters, sabotages and assault rallies are used will vary depending on the base layout that one is attacking. A lot, and I mean a lot of careful planning, preparation and foresight goes into making bomber attacks, especially at this level. Of course though, practice makes perfect, and you'll see that this is made to look so easy, however it's definitely not. Right then, let's get into the attack. Let's have a look how it works and break down step by step sort of the deployment and the use of those detachments and troops that we've just looked at. Now this base is actually an anti-bomber base layout. You can see those air defences tucked safely away there with walls around them to keep them even more secure. And then the machine gun towers are positioned in such a way that it's going to make life a lot more difficult. Now then, first order of business as a bomber attacker is to take out those machine gun towers and air defense. I'm just going to pause it here a minute as well, because I've said that this takes a lot of planning and preparation, but not only that, it's also incredibly hard to actually pull this off and execute it perfectly. Everything that's about to happen is going to happen in about 10 seconds, but a lot is going to happen, so I'm going to break each bit down, slow it down, and show you exactly what's going on. I'll then rewind it and we'll watch it in real time, where you can see just how quickly everything happens and how much skill is required, and you can have your mind blown just like mine was when I first saw it. Right, let's do it. First commando deployed and rallied to tower. Now we're going to see our first detachment deployed and immediately rallied to a machine gun tower. If you deploy using the icons on the right, you can immediately rally straight away a lot easier. Now in with the second detachment again, deploying and then immediately rallying to the machine gun tower. Now for the third and final detachment, which has got the Zhukov and the tactical helicopters in. By including Zhukov, he tanks the initial SAM battery and some of the air defense damage. They are deployed and then immediately rallied to the air defense in the center of the base. Now's where the magic happens. You see those rings around the tactical helicopters? The commandos can be deployed within those rings. We see two deployed here right on top of the air defense and then immediately assault rallied to the next air defense beside it. We see the same sort of thing again here, except the tactical helicopter is used to essentially just allow the commandos to hop over the wall. They are deployed directly on top of the machine gun tower and then assault rallied straight to the air defense tower. With level 10 adaptive camouflage munition, the commandos are immune for the first 10 seconds after deployment, meaning they can just do whatever the hell they want. Now let's go back and watch that in real time. Okay, so time for a little pause. Now we're moving on to phase 2, where we're actually going to use the bombers. And hey, this is a video about bombers after all, so let's get into it. So we're going to see a combination of sabotages being used alongside the recon planes and the bombers to take out the last remaining machine gun towers and air defense towers. The sabotages are timed and used exactly when counterintelligence is off of cooldown. This is a very short window, but a crucial one to get right. Oh, and if you haven't liked the video yet, then come on, help a brother out here. So, recons are sent in, and remember, recons cast sabotage on their first deployment, then sabotages are used, and then bombers come in. This order is crucial to maximise the sabotage length. And well, yeah, now just an absolute carpet bombing takes place. Now, generals and remaining troops are deployed in the corners of the map to help secure that quick victory. The remaining sabotage tactics are used to protect the bombers on their next run whilst they take out the last air defense tower. Now the defences of this defender have been completely dismantled and there's not really much that can go wrong now. It's just a case of using the bombers and the recons to finish taking out the remaining buildings. There is literally nothing left now to stop these bombers from just destroying the rest of this base. It's kind of like a game of chess where the opponent has only got their king and a couple of pawns left and you've still got all of your pieces. So I'll speed up the rest of this replay here because there's not much left to it. Just use the bombers and the recons to take out the remaining buildings that are left, and that's it. The hardest part, as you probably now understand, is at the beginning of this attack, where the detachments are used alongside the commandos and the tactical helicopters to really start to dismantle and take out those air defences and machine guns. Because as we see now, without air defense or machine guns, there's not much that's going to stop these bombers. Yes, there are towers that will do damage to the bombers, but not enough to stop them just destroying the base completely. So there we go. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, because I post on the regular and you wouldn't want to miss out on that. So by subscribing, you can see that. I will see you in the next one. As always, peace out.